Okay, you're live again.
I think we're back up.
They might have to refresh because it's not going to be the same live. Okay, well you lost most of the people. You're down to 13 now.
I can't even get back up. Are you seeing it live?
Yep. Yep, you're up there.
I'm up? Okay. Sorry, everybody. We are having some video issues here. Dan, can you please get it up on here for me too? Okay, sorry about that. I know some of you took that time to get caught up. This is a learning curve for us, so I'm happy if you could just bear with us through this learning curve. We will get better at this, I promise. Okay. So that is your book up to this point, okay? So what we're going to do now, are you all back with me? I see the numbers climbing back up. Y'all had to refresh from the other video in order to get back to this one.
I need to get this plugged in.
My plug is in the other room. So I guess this draws a lot of battery power when you're doing this. And we had it hooked up to Dan's phone because we had the iPad issues. And so anyway, you know what it's like. So now
these things and get better.
We will get better, as Dan said. Okay, so that is the whole booklet here. So we're going to cut our papers now. And so these are the papers that I'm going to use.
Okay, hold on a second while
Dan's just doing something here. He's trying to plug in the battery.
I can't see. Okay.
Okay, so we're still good. So first we're going to, I like to cut all the pieces all at once and get them out of the way. So for the cover, the flap back, we're going to cut two pieces, 3 7/8 by 8 1/4. And I'm using double-sided paper, so without having to really think about anything, I'm just going to cut my two pieces from this piece. I'm not going to sort through and...
Can you turn your chat on?
Comments.
Okay.
There we go. Okay, the bundles with the flaps, I'm going to go back because I know it froze then. Yeah, it seems everybody missed this section. Okay, so you have your two bundles that we glued together. Remember, piles of 6 and pile of 6, and we glued all of those together. Then the last piece that had the flap that we didn't have any glue on is glued down on the inside of the album. All right, remember the biggest piece is at the bottom, the smaller piece is at the top. And we
ask the ladies if they have a blizzard.
I already asked.
There's another blizzard going on out there.
Okay, so we've got this glued on both sides here. Okay, does that make sense, ladies? And then they meet in the center. You could turn these, actually you could do like a waterfall kind of flip through if you wanted, or turn them both the same way. I like them opening up this way. All right? So that's what that piece is like. Okay. So the inside of this flap inside here, as well as this back piece, we're going to cut that first. So I'm just figuring out what paper I'm going to use for that one. And those aren't the papers I wanted to use. That's why they're not looking right. These are the ones that I'm going to use. Okay, so I'm going to use this one for the inside and the back. So the measurement for this one is 8 1/8 by 4 inches. And you need 2 pieces. We'll use the front side and then the back side. So cut your 4-inch. Four-inch and a 4-inch piece. There we go. Are we all good, ladies? And then trim them down to 8 1/8. So your first 2 pieces are 8 1/8 by 4. There's piece 1. And there's piece 2. So I'm flipping that over. 8 1/8 by 4. Okay. For the cover, this flap here inside is going to be 3 7/8 by 8 1/4. And for that one, it's a fairly big piece. I'm going to use this one here, I think. So, again, it's going to be 3 7/8 by 8 1/4. So 3 7/8. If you're using diagonal paper, or sorry, paper with a print on it, make sure that you get the right side up. So just watch your pattern when you're cutting it. And 8 1/4. So this is the piece that's going to go on this big flap here. Can you see that, ladies? So that was 3 7/8 by 8 1/4. So I'm going to be using that on the outside. If I was using it on the inside, then of course I'm going to have to put it this way. So we need 2 pieces for the front and the inside of that large flap. So I'm going to cut a second piece of that, 3 7/8 by 8 1/4. So 3 7/8 by 8 1/4. So I've got a really nice stripe that I'm going to put inside here. Okay, so that's the next 2 pieces. Okay, so that's for this one. We've got this, we've got this, we've got the back. The last piece you want to do is the top flap. And that piece is 2 7/8 by 8 1/4. So we want a piece 2 7/8 by 8 1/4. 2 7/8 by 8 1/4. Changing out my paper again. 2 7/8 by 8 1/4. Okay. And then that little pocket piece here, you just need one little strip for here. And this is 7 7/8 by 1 7/8. So again, it's 7 7/8 by 1 7/8. Seven 7/8 by 1 7/8. 7 7/8. Okay. Okay, so to refresh, we've got two pieces, 8 1/8 by 4. We have two pieces, 3 7/8 by 8 1/4. We have two pieces, 2 7/8 by 8 1/4. And our pocket piece, which goes on to here, is 1 7/8 by 7 7/8. Yeah, if you're watching and you're going to do this later, that's fine. But if you can follow along and do it while I'm doing it, that's even better. And I keep repeating the numbers over and over so that you guys can, if you can keep up, that's great. Some of you were able to cut your paper in advance, even better. So in my pack, I have this paper with the 4x4 squares. So that's really helpful for me because I'm going to use those 4x4 squares inside here because all of the pieces that we need to cut for here are 4x4. So we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we need 24 squares total. So this will be 9 squares. If you're using just regular paper, that's fine. Now you want to cut 4x4 squares. Okay, so we need, what did I say? 24 of those. So let's get those cut up. 4, 4, and 4. 4, 4, and 4. This paper is so cute. And I know what little girl I'm going to give it to for her birthday.
Somebody's asking what was 3 7/8 by 3 1/4.
No, it was 3 7/8 by 8 1/4. So 3 7/8 by 8 1/4. That's your flap in here. Okay, so that's 3 7/8 by 8 1/4. Okay, so your papers are 3 7/8 by 8 1/4, 4 by 8 1/8, 2 7/8 by 8 1/4, and all of those we cut 2 pieces. And then the pocket piece, we only need 1, and it's 1 7/8 by 7 7/8. All right, and now we are cutting the individual pieces to mat on the flaps. So we need 24 pieces of 4x4. So I will continue to cut some more pieces here. And another 4. Now, if you have a whole bunch of scrap paper, small pieces, this is a great way to use them up. And I'll show you something while everybody's catching up cutting. I have these little 6x6 boxes, and they are great for putting all your little leftover pieces in. I try not to save anything too small, but last night when I was cutting, I had some little squares left over and I put them into these boxes. If I have leftover pieces of, you know, from my paper pads, or if I've got cardstock, I'll cut it down to a substantial size. I'll trim off all the little extra pieces and then I keep them in here. And these are great when I'm doing die cuts that are small. You can see I have little pieces in there and it's just a great way to store everything. I know you can keep them color coordinated if you want. I just have a couple of these bins. Whoops, and I can't close it now. A couple of these bins that I store everything in. And now, there we go. So I have actually have 4 of these that I've got paper in, but it's just easier. I don't put them in plastic bags and they all get crunched up. They're all kept nice and neat. You can put your 6x6 paper pads in them. They are available. They're called Art Bin Essential 6x6 storage boxes, and they are a wonderful little thing to use. Okay, so I will continue to cut my 4x4 squares. 4x4. I'm trying to use up pieces that I've already used. And you can always put a mat of just a solid color if you want, but I just like it having, you know, to have all of these different colors inside of the folio. Okay, another 4. 4x4. 4x4. There we go. Your Memento ink cubes. Correct, Joanne. Those little 6x6 will hold your Memento little ink cubes. I believe it also holds the 4x4, the Tim Holtz Distress Oxides and the Distress inks as well. I don't know what I'm up to now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think I still got to cut. 9, 10, 11. There's 12 for one side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Six, 7, 8. One more, I believe. I cut from here. I will cut from this piece. Okay. So those are all my 4x4 squares that I'm going to use. So before I put those inside of my book, I'm going to glue all of these items down. So I'm going to close that up. So for our closure, we want to think about that before we glue the pieces on. When I did this one, I corner round this piece and I used the corner rounder on these as well. I have a heavy duty, it's called a Crumper Memory Keeper's Crocodile Corner Chomper, and it is great. If you're using heavier cardstock for your albums or you're doing more folios, this tool is great because it really will chomp through. When we did the class on our folios and we used the heavier card shop cardstock, the regular, a couple of the girls, their corner rounders broke because the paper is quite heavy to work with. These tools are great. And this particular one is still available. There used to be different edged ones, and this is the only one that is still available to purchase. So it's quite good. The magnets, if you're using ribbon, the ribbon is going to go under here, and I'll show you exactly how I did that, but I'm going to be using magnets on mine for this one. We do have magnets available, yay. Tonic or Nouveau have come out with magnets now. They have been really difficult to get. I have been using these magnetic snaps from Basic Grey, and Basic Grey is no longer in business. And so, okay, the measurements, Dan has put the measurements up again for you guys so you can see them. These magnetic snaps are no longer available. I think we may still have some in the store. This is the other size of magnet from Tonic. So there are two, oh, they're all gone. Okay. So there are two sizes, and they are available from Tonic, and they are in the online store. Okay. So if you were putting ribbon on here, you would want to have your ribbon on this side, like this, so that your paper is going to go on top of it. And then you're going to flip it over to the back, and you're going to have your ribbon on this side. Now, the best way to find the center is to use a centering ruler and measure out. So I have 4 1/8 on this side, 4 and, so I want to go in between those two. And there's the 0 point. So you would put a little mark with your pencil so you know that's your center point right there. Put a little piece of score tape here, run your ribbon down. Okay, on this side here, oops, I'm going to flip this over again so that you can see. Same thing. Your ribbon's going to come out here, so you're going to put a mark. These centering rulers, we did get the Make Art. These are by, oh my gosh, her name has just left me. One of you will tell me what her name, Wendy Vecchi, I believe these are. Yes, Wendy Vecchi's. And these are centering rulers. They also have a magnet on them. So if you're using the Make Art station boards, which we just got in, these rulers will hold in place on there, but they are centering rulers. So the centering ruler has the 0 in the middle, and then you can measure out each direction so that you know you are even, Steven. So then you would put your mark there for your ribbon and bring your ribbon down. Because I'm using magnets, my magnet has to go on this side and here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark my space now for that. And it's going to be right there. I'm going to come down a little bit. Right there, and I'm going to put a mark there. Maybe. My pencil doesn't give up on me. And I'm going to put the same mark on this side. I want to bring it down right about there. So I'm going to go for, there we go, right there. Okay, so my magnets are going to go there and there. So I will take my magnets now, and I'm going to put them on so that I don't forget. Except I can't find them. I just had them here. There they are. Okay, you ladies can relate to this, right? Okay, so I put my plus side on one side. Now, there's another product that I use. I don't know if you guys are familiar with it. Have you heard of the product called Undo? I'm going to stick this down. The magnets have a piece of tape on the back, or you can use score tape. I'm just trying to peel this off right now, but they do have a little bit of stickiness on them, so it's a double-sided tape. So, Lena, you've heard of Undo. It is a wonderful product. Now, what did I use? The positive side or the negative there? I used the positive. It's a wonderful product, and as soon as I get this magnet down, I can tell you what it is. I just want to be sure I get in the right space. So I've attached my magnets together here. I'm going to take that off. So when I'm doing albums, the nice thing, a mistake. So let's say I put all my It is awesome stuff. If I had put my page down and went, oh shoot, I forgot to add my magnets. At this point, if you were to take your paper off, you would probably end up ripping your album. Oops. So, let's be down a bit. There we go. So what would happen? This is undo. And it's got this little scoop on the end of it. And we sell a lot of this, especially with the people doing mini albums. You can use it in your scrapbook pages as well. Have you ever done a title and you realize that you've spelled it wrong and everything else is glued down? So you take this, you take the cap off, you squeeze a little bit of the liquid in there, and then if your paper was down, you were just going to go under the edge and it's going to lift it off. It looks very oily. However, it does not leave a mark, an oil mark at all. You can use it on your photos. If you were somehow managed to stick a sticker on top of your photo, you can use this, lift it off. It's not going to damage the photo. It is not like regular unsticky label stuff that you buy in the hardware store. I don't know what it is that's in this product that makes it work without leaving any sticky residues. So I have literally put a page upside down in the middle of an album that I've just about, finished. And, it's like, oh, great. So if I was to rip it out, I'd rip out half of my back pages. So I use this, get that off, and then I restick my page on there. It is awesome. We do have it in the online store. We carry it in the store as well. We've been selling more and more of it as we've been doing the albums and people have just been discovering it. I always have my bottle available when I'm doing a class because one of us is going to do something wrong. And the minute I use it, we end up selling out of undo because everybody buys a bottle. It lasts a long time. I've used I'm almost done this bottle, but I have had this one for a long, long time. And it really is the bomb. So if there's something you want to invest in that will really save you money in the long run, because you're not going to waste your time by having to redo everything, and also not waste your product and all the supplies that you've used. Okay, so now I can choose my paper for the top. So I'm just going to see which one I like better on the top of this album, and also on the lower section. That's not doing it for me. I think I need to maybe do that. No. Actually, I do like the numbers. And in the top, I think I'm going to do that pinky like that. And the numbers there. Okay. So I've picked those two for that. I'm just going to flip open here. And I'm going to put my paper on the inside here. Which will be, I think I'm going to go with this solid. So this is the biggest of all of the pieces that you've cut. I take my glue. Oops. Now, these bottles of glue don't come with these tips. This is the glue here. Usually it just has a regular tip on the end of it. These tips are great as well. And I go back to making albums, cards, whatever. Where you want a little bit of glue to be, these tips, they come like this. They're $5.89. It's a metal tip and it's got a little pin as well that you can stick in to keep it from drying or getting clogged. And then you stick that on the top of your bottle and it gives you that really nice fine tip so that you can get close to the edge and you don't have tons and tons in one area. And then I'm gluing that down. Now this is where I talked about using that tool. Find mine. And sticking that paper down. You want to spread that glue. Okay. So now I know I'm putting this big piece on this outside. So on the inside, I'm going to put this piece like that. There we go. And spread that glue out again. Like that. Okay. Now here I can put that paper on the front. And sticking that one down. Okay.
Joanne is asking if you have problems with the glue getting clogged.
I never have problems with the glue getting clogged, because if you find that it clogs, just take your pin and stick it in and it unclogs. Every once in a while, I will take it off and then I will clean the inside with that pin as well. Or you can run it in hot water and clean it out, but that's very rare that will happen. Having the pin to poke through and to keep in when I'm not using the glue really stops it from clogging. Very few issues with it clogging. Okay, so the top flap then. Which paper did I have for the top flap? Whoops, it's right here. I'm putting that one on the top flap here, and I'm putting this one on the inside here. So I will glue those down now. Do you know what? I think I'm going to use that side. I think I like that side more. So it does keep a nice fine line of glue on there for you. And this glue, I mean, we brought a lot in before we were told that it wouldn't ship in the winter months because it doesn't do well when it freezes. And we have, we have only a few bottles left. And as I said, she's watching our weather and she keeps posting, emailing and saying, I'm still watching your weather. Looks like in the next week, it might be able to go in the next week or so. So hopefully we will get this glue in soon. It comes in big bottles as well. So I just keep refilling this bottle from my bigger bottle. Because I like the small one. I like the way I can hold it in my hand easily. And spread the glue. Okay. So that's where I'm at right now. And I need my paper on the back. I'm going to open this back up so it's a little flatter for me to put that piece on. And that's my back piece. And glue that in there.
Goodness, Zorica just signed in.
Hey Zorica, you're watching along. We are creating a little folio album tonight. There we go. So that's the back. These are my inside flaps. And there's, whoops, there's the outside of my album. Open it up. And here's where that pocket's going to go. So this piece that we folded the edges over is going to be glued right in here. So take my trusty glue. And line it up.
Jane, what trimmer do you highly recommend?
Trimmer is a hard thing to recommend to people.
Fiskars.
The Fiskars are really good trimmers. The reason that I haven't parted with this one, and even though it's been abused, it's been stretched and everything, is that it's got the nice wide base, the 6-inch base here, which is really, really great for card making because usually your cards, you're working within a 6-inch frame. The smaller trimmers that are 4-inch, I don't recommend because you're constantly having to swing that arm out. Whereas this one with the 6-inch bed is much better. This one that I had shown earlier, the We Are Memory Makers, is a great one. And I see a lot of the designers using this one because you're getting two tools in one. You've got your scoreboard on one side and your trimmer on the other. This blade is a really good blade as well. And then there's also it's called the Works. It's got an enveloper. It's got a whole bunch of tools in it. I would suggest going and looking on the website and seeing the different ones and going from there, depending on how many tools you want on it. I have a separate scoring board from my cutter. I like the idea of having them both in one because I'm always searching for my tools. Okay. So now the only thing I need to do is add my last piece of paper onto here. What do you think so far? Is this not the cutest little thing? So the little girl that this is going to will be able to have a whole bunch of her own pictures in here from her birthday party. And she'll be able to keep this little book and she'll be able to look at it whenever she wants. Some of you may know who I'm referring to. I'm an honorary grandmother, so I don't have any grandchildren, so I live vicariously through somebody else's grandchildren. You like the project? Zorica, if you didn't follow along from the beginning, that's okay because you can watch the video later and you can follow along. Now you can put a title on there. So I'm going to put my pages on the inside here as well. And so I just sort of pick what I want on each side. I'm not going to spend a lot of time doing that. But I did mention that you can leave, one side open with just the cardstock. But I really did like the look of having it on both sides. And this is a good time to really give that a good crease because if that's got a good crease in it, it will also help to keep the album closed. Okay, and then I'm going to put another piece of paper on there. That. And as I said in the other album, I corner around here and here on both sides. This one I'm just doing regular square corners. I didn't want to take all that time on the video rounding all the corners out. So I just love this. I'm going to give one to my mom for Mother's Day. And because she doesn't have any grandchildren, she does love... You're sold on the art glue, Kathy. I know it's a great product. And as I said, you just need to spread that glue when you put it down. It's going to keep everything in place forever. A little bit older and a lot more fabulous. So I'll put that on that side. So I know on these 4x4 cards that they do have sayings on them. So, you're not going to want to put a photo on them. If you don't want to use those 4x4 cards, that's fine. Just use regular printed paper where a photo can be added onto there later. All right, I'm going to put a pinky one there. So the one for my mom, I'm going to put some pictures of the goats in there for her. She loves to show people pictures of the goats.
No, pictures of her son-in-law. She likes her son-in-law.
Oh, Dan's saying it should be pictures of him. I don't think so. I think we'll stick with the goats. And she'll like it. She'll go around and show everybody all the pictures. She'll get a kick out of it. So it's a nice book if you want to give somebody some pictures of, you know, flowers from your garden, or you know what? Even a recipe book. What you can do, just thinking this through now, we've got a new graphic 45 line coming in called Kiss the Cook. It's actually an old line, and they're reintroducing it. They do that with some of their older lines. They bring it back as a collector's edition. And so this line would be really nice to do one of these. One side you could have a picture of the food, and the other side could be, you know, the actual recipe on there. What do you think of that? I think that would be really cool. That would be something that would be nice for me to give my guests when they're here. But to make 10 of these for a weekend would be so much time. I wish I had that much time that I could do that for everybody. But maybe what I could do is actually do this as a little make and take idea when the guests are here, and show them how to do this and then give them the recipes to put in. That's an even better idea. That's what I think. Okay, I think I'll put the rainbow on that side. So I'm just changing my squares up here, flipping my paper over. And, you know, talking about the art glitter glue, it is fantastic, but it's even 100% more fantastic when you've got the little tip on the end of it, because it does keep it a really fine line of glue. And with a fine line of glue, you can glue little tiny pieces down without a problem.
Senator Murphy wants to see the glue up close.
You want to see the glue up close and personal. Okay, let me just...
And Zorka says it would make a great memory for a wedding.
Yes,
People
actually...
write inspiration messages for the bride and grooms. Extra cards could be put in to the folder you created.
Yes, Zorika's suggestion, making it a little wedding album, that's a great idea. People could write in it, yeah, put little little comments and so forth. You could make this even thicker if you want. But you would have to make your flaps a little bit bigger, and you'd have to make your binding a little bit, can you see that now?
No, hold it up closer. Hold it up close. Oh. Sorry, I'm delayed here.
Yeah, it's called Art Glitter Glue.
That's it, yeah.
There we go. So this is the clear. And, well, you can see there is a difference. Mine has got a little bit of a brown tone to it. And that's because I used a pin I shouldn't have used, and it rusted. And so it kind of made a mess of my glue. But it still works. Only something I would do, I know. Do I want to add? Okay, I'm going to add one of these. One of those ones. Almost done here. Now, we also have, a collection kit is great to use for this because you would have all the paper that you need, and you would have the stickers in there as well. So you could, you'd probably get, well, you'd have to use some papers from another line, but maybe 1.5 out of one collection kit. But you would get these 4x4 cards in there. You would get the sticker sheets that you can use. And then you can add stickers wherever you want to just, finish up the album in a special way. Happy birthday to you. Stick that one there. And then the last one on this side, I think I will use that paper. It really is endless what you can do with this, and how you can make it work for whatever event. And it's just so pretty. Who wouldn't smile getting this as a gift? You know, it doesn't really take that long to do that. A hostess gift. When we get back to visiting people, this would be a really nice hostess gift to give to someone. I would love to get something like this. This paper is so cute. Yeah, so we have a bunch of collection kits that are on for $10.99 and $9.99, which is like half the regular price. So you would be able to create this album as well. You would have paper left over to even do some cards. You could do a matching card to go with the folio and then give it to somebody for $10. I mean, come on, can't beat that price. So we had our National Scrapbook Day sale last Saturday, and it was unbelievable. Pretty well sold out of everything that we had. We're just working on some other surprises to have for you guys at a future date. So those of you that are on our Facebook page will be able to keep up to date on what goodies we have coming up. And of course, we've got our new store in Guelph that will be opening as soon as we get the okay to open the doors. We're excited about that.
Okay, dear,
Yes.
you're in an hour and a half.
Okay. Almost done here, ladies.
So, we would like to get some feedback on what they thought of the video and if they had any suggestions on how to improve it.
I don't know if you ladies can hear Dan jabbering in the back at me, but we would like some feedback and comments from you as to what you liked or what you didn't like about the video. You know, was it, prepared enough in advance for you? Was there something else that we needed to include? Do you like them? You know, that sort of thing. Do you like us to continue? Okay. Now, here's one of those situations that I was talking about. I knew I had a little bit of glue in the way, and I should have taken care of it, and I didn't. So what I'm doing right now is I am putting a little bit of my undo in there. You see how that's come apart?
Oh, Lucy.
I know I'm such a Lucy, but you want that to dry. So I'm going to leave that for now because it does have a little bit of an oily feel to it, but it won't leave that oily feel, which is the bonus. So I'm going to leave those pages. I'll come back to it when it dries. It doesn't take long for it to dry. I just don't want to do it right now. Hi, Colleen. Isn't it great to be able to scrap with others tonight? Michelle, you'd like it to continue? Thank you so much. So I research a lot of different videos and stuff to help me come up with some of these things. Some of these are exact duplicates from YouTube videos that I've just transferred over to teach to you guys, because there is so much on YouTube, and I know we don't have the time to go through everything to find the things that are, you know, maybe appeal to us. So it's just endless. So being able to pick a few and put them on our page and then share them together like this is a fun way. I have we're waiting to do one of our Graphic 45 folio classes. We have a group of 8 booked that they're waiting to do their books. We sold the class out twice, and I'm now working on another folio for another class, and that will be a class at the workshop as well, because it's a full day workshop. Now the one that we've done so far, the girls have loved it and they can't wait to do more. And then of course COVID hit. So that's still a little oily. I'm going to leave that for now. I'll put them in, but you guys, you get the idea of what I've done here. So what I will do is I will take extra little pieces of paper now and I'll trim them down and I'll put them in here for tags. And then I take my sticker sheet, which I had here. There it is. And I'm going to show you another little trick before we finish up. So there we go. On the outside of here, I want to put some stickers. I'm just going to show you a couple. Now, this, for you diehards, is a honkin' big roll of double-sided tape. Now, we also sell the little squares, the variety size squares, little tiny and a little bit bigger. And we sell rolls, small rolls like this. This roll was like, it was almost double this size. And what I like about this roll is that it's not for the weak at heart. It's like 80 bucks a roll, 70 some odd dollars a roll. But I can cut off as small of a piece as I want and use it without having any waste. I can make it fit to whatever. So for instance, on the outside of here, if I want to have this little thing here, I can put a piece there, and then I know I need, and usually I have it on my lap, and then I'm just cutting off little pieces as I need it. I love it. It just never seems to disappear. So there is still stickiness on the back of this. There is a product, and another one that I really like. I call it Sniffy because it smells wonderful. But it's by EK Tools, and it's actually called a powder tool. Now what this does is it removes the stickiness off the back of the sticker where I don't want it to push down. So I want this to pop up. So I put this on the back to remove the...
You're holding it upside down.
Sorry. Holding it upside down, he says. Okay. So there we go. It's the powder tool. Another product, it lasts forever. Joanne, you love this stuff. It does work great. So it takes that stickiness off of your sticker, and then I take the backing off my pop-up tape, and I can stick that down. Now, the reason for removing that stickiness is that this is not going to stick to the pages. It's going to remain popped up. It's great in albums, you know, your scrapbook albums, or you're putting stickers down and you're popping them up. You go through all that trouble, and then you go back in the album, and wherever there isn't the double-sided pop-up tape, the sticker is stuck down flat. You can also use this when you're making shaker cards to put around. If it was a circular one, you could put it around the inside edges so that your shaker stuff isn't going to stick to the edges. That is a wonderful tool. This one I've had forever. Honestly, I think one will last you a lifetime. And it smells good. I always have to sniff it.
Oh my God.
I know Dan is saying I'm crazy. But anyway, you know what would be really cute on the front of this as well is to put maybe a little shaker. I've got these little purple, aren't they adorable? These are the sprinklets we have in. We have all kinds of different shaker ones, sprinklets and little packages of shakers that, you know, a little shaker on the front of there would be really sweet. But I'm going to finish decorating this up. Now, with the sticker sheets, you get all these little word stickers. And so these are perfect for the edges. They fit just perfectly in there. So I've got little girl, big day. I could put down here, happy birthday to you, and then I could put some along the spine there. If I wanted, I could even put some on the inside of the spines here and really decorate it up nice with these stickers. But that's your basic book. It comes together. See, it's still a little, I will wait and I'll put that in later. Sorry?
Can you ask everybody to like and heart the icons at the bottom of the video?
Yeah, if you guys could do that for us, if you could like and heart our video, that would be wonderful. That would really help us out. I hope you time learning how to do these. Look how these just stack together. I just love it. Look at this. They
So
don't.
there's messages here, there's some people that actually did complete the folio.
Some of you did complete it? I'm so happy. That makes me smile. Now look how flat these are. That's 3 albums with a whole bunch of photos in there. As I said, these could just be lined up for all different occasions. If you wanted to start a little girl in your life with some little mini albums, you know, parents, whatever, like they stack up really nicely, nice and tight. Look at that. I just love them. And I could keep making these and making these. A little Disney one, whatever. I mean, it's endless what you can do with them. So I hope you had fun tonight with this. Colleen, you completed it. You love it. I'm so glad. You know what? Share your completed albums with us. Post a couple of pictures for us and we can put it in on the Facebook page. Lee, you made yours. You're going to make one up tomorrow as well. Dana, you made it. Thank you so much. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Lots of ideas out there. So let me see your creations when you're done. Had a wonderful Friday night with all of you. Hope soon that we can all get together in person. Keep safe, everybody. Have a great rest of your weekend. And I will post what our next video is going to be about in the next couple of days. Bye for now.
Bye, ladies.